Well, welcome everybody to our team meeting on August 10th, 2021. Excited to see everybody here. We are going to talk about stats today because there's a lot of speculation going on that the market's going to crash. There's going to be big changes. So we want to be the first to let you know about those. And so we want to talk about what is happening, what's happened year over year, what's happening this month, and where we stand right now in the market. So welcome everybody.
I think that's like the big conversation right now. Would you guys all agree? It's like, oh, I'm going to wait. The market's going to crash. It's a bubble. And how like it blows my mind because the national news is just saying this isn't a bubble, but everyone's feeling like it has to be because it's bananas.
It is, and things do change, and they are changing a little bit. To what extent, and what's going to happen in our market compared to the rest is what we really want to cover today. So we want to have lots of participation. So all of the experts are here with us from Murdock Manwaring Company, and PRMI Mortgage. So we will be hearing from both sides. So today is just the stats. I don't know who Jack is. I think that's Alex. Call him Jack. So
just the stats, Jack.
Let's get right into it, Jessica. All right. So just in the month of July, Bonneville County, Jefferson County, and Bingham County, Snake River Plain. The number of homes sold last year was 357. This year, we recorded 245. Less homes are selling. Feels like they are going quicker, and there actually is less to choose from. So if you're in the market now and you're buying, you're feeling that. If you're in the market and selling, it's going quick still. So let's look year over year. Oh, let's do a breakdown first.
Here's your breakdown of the price ranges in that for that. This was super interesting to me.
Tell me why.
Well, as we would look at this, for a while, we've been seeing these prices creep up and creep up and creep up. And we've kind of looked at the difference between 500 and below and 500 above. And it just feels like, man, there was only 24 homes above 600,000 that sold. And I don't know if you guys, is this weird? Do you guys feel like there were more in previous months of homes higher than that selling? It was a ton, 600 and below this month, a ton. 90% of the homes were under 600,000 sold this month, which I felt like we were getting away from, but I really like that.
Yeah. So it is kind of that upper end might be softening a little. Is that kind of what the point is?
Yeah, I think so.
That people that have listed their homes above 600,000 are feeling a little bit of pushback, and they're not selling quite as quickly, and there's not as many.
Yeah. I think people are going to see that slowing in that upper market. We're still hot, of course, in our prime market, but I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to start seeing that pullback of those higher end homes.
Yeah. So let's go year to date to see what the number of homes that sold last year to compared to this year. So not that big a difference. There's still plenty of activity, but there is a decrease of about 11.5%. So last year to this point, there was almost 1,700. This year, we're about 1,500. So 200 homes did not hit the market and did not get sold. So that's fairly significant. So it tells me that there probably still is a bit of a shortage, right? And that sellers are still kind of controlling what sells and when it sells, and buyers are still scrambling a bit to find something. So July market overview, average price just for the month of July last year was $289. This year, whoa, right? 100,000 more.
Banana boats.
36% increase for that, just that 1 month, year over year. So let's look at the year to date. It gives us a little better picture, but not quite as significant, but not quite as low as you would think that the year to date. Go
That's 400. We are almost at an average price of 400. That is crazy for July. Anyway, maybe I've been in this business too long that feels just like it's completely insane.
Yeah, and we're there. I mean, it's not coming. We are there, and it's been sustained for a while now. So what's that percentage, Jessica? Still 36%. So to think that the market is going to have a shift, we are seeing some things enter in that are changing a little bit, and stay tuned for that. But things still are tight right now for buyers and still good for sellers. Yeah. Nicole, you want to comment there?
Yeah. So Jessica says she can't believe that 400,000 is just crazy. Could we hear from PRMI? What does that look like with lending rates right now? Is that on the, because that is scary. 400,000 people just go, oh my gosh. One of my clients just said to me, I never thought I would pay $500,000 for a house. But what's that payment look like in interest rates?
Yeah.
Maybe that's not so scary.
Right? With rates going up, or with prices going up so much, what does that mean if your income isn't following at a 36% year over year?
Yeah, Hunter? super good, good question, Nicole. And I think, what people don't understand is payments are staying pretty much the same. I ran across a pretty unique screenshot the other day that I'm just going to pull up here if you have some time. So we're going back 20 years ago, year 2000. The property values were around 300,000, and the interest rate was sitting at about 8%. So your total monthly payment was $2,200. So fast forward 2021, the property value is $530,000. Your interest rate is now 2.9%. And your monthly payment is $2,198. So just a little bit less, or pretty much the same payment as it was 20 years ago. And because of interest rates, things are, even if they're $365,000, they're the same payment. So
Hunter, I feel like we can close stats right now with that mic drop. That is a mind blower.
It really is crazy that if you're paying $2,200 a month at 8%, and what was that price you paid back then?
It was at 300,000.
300,000. Now we're 100,000 more.
200. He said that was at 500,000.
Man alive.
$530,000 to $230,000 more.
Man,
yeah,
it's crazy how interest rates do. Go ahead, Ashley.
That's why we tell clients that even though we explain why it's actually not an inflated market, even though it feels like it, just because the market has kind of caught up in the last few years with where we really, should be. But it's actually never been more affordable to buy, specifically for what we just talked about. So even though it feels inflated, it is actually more affordable to buy right now than it has been in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
That math feels like wackadoodle math, but it's true. It seems like that isn't possible, but totally true when you start to get to the real numbers.
Even in 2010, where home prices were at 400,000 and interest rates were around 5%, the payments were still at $2,200. So it gives you kind of a breakdown of the last 20 years, including after 2008.
So even though it's a seller's market, it's good for buyers because, the interest rate is ridiculously wonderful.
Excellent point.
That's the key.
Good, and a good opportunity, because who controls interest rates? It's hard to say, right?
Imagine if you have to pay $500 and that interest rate goes up to 3.5, which is still a good rate, but it kicks you up to 3.5. That just takes another 10% off of your affordability. So buying when that rate is low is so essential.
Yep. So great opportunity for sellers and great opportunity still for buyers on the affordability side. Let's look at one of the stats that we talk about that list to sold percentages. If you list your house for sale at 100,000, last year you could expect 100,400 bucks. This year you can expect more than asking price, right, for the month of July. So you can expect 2.5% increase on what you're asking compared to what you end up getting. And then the year to date for that same statistic says that it's gone up even more. Make sure I'm on the same. Just 3.1%, right? So 102.8%. So is the market changing maybe a little bit? Is there more homes available right now than there was 30 days ago? Yes. But we're still seeing that people that are selling within range are selling at or above asking price. So that's one big takeaway. And Brian, what's your current statistic? Is Brian still with us here? We lost Brian.
I have a question about that with Brian. So a lot of my buyers say, I don't want to pay too much. People are listing their house too high. It's not worth that much. But if it's selling for more than list price, it is worth that much. And they're willing to sell it. So when people say, oh, geez, that house isn't worth that much, it's worth what the market will pay. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah. Market value is based on what people are willing to pay. That's literally what comparables, what appraisers, that's literally what it's based on. It's based on solds. And who decides how much they want to buy something for? The market. So the market will tell you what they think that the house is worth.
So what's interesting about that comment, Nicole, is really someone says what they're saying is it's not worth it to me. Because I remember when houses like that were $100,000 less. So I'm not ready to pay that amount. But if they get in the market, they're going to find out others are, and they decide whether then it becomes worth it for them. But perception is it's not worth it. Well, if it appraises, if someone's willing to pay, it is worth it. That's what market value is. It's what someone's willing to pay.
Perfect. And Shayla, correct me if I'm wrong. Last month when we talked, we were the stats for Brian and our listings on the team were in the range of 105 plus, right? And nothing from Shayla.
That's actually Connie's stat. So hold on just a second.
That's all right. We'll come back to it.
Yes,
But
you are remembering correctly. Brian's are usually 105.
Perfect. Thank you. Great. Average days on the market. Last year it was taking just over a month, almost a month and a half to sell the average house. This July, 13 days.
So I have a theory on this. I think that we jumped down to that 13-day, which is a huge decrease. But we also saw significant more of the more affordable homes versus the high-end homes, which I think contributes to that 13 days. You're not getting 13 days at the $1 million price range at the 800,000. And we had less of those sell this month, just this month, because this is just for July. So I think that's why we're seeing that anomaly. It's not a trend, which we'll see in the year to date, but I think that anomaly for July is we just saw a big impact in that middle range houses, which are hot markets, 13 days.
Yeah, because and that really is our leading indicator of what's happening right now with today's inventory and how long does it take for it to go pending. So let's look year to date on that same statistic where last year to date we were at 36. This year we're at 29. So still decreasing, and the market is still changing towards the seller side of the market. There's still a higher demand from buyers than we have homes available.
Yeah. And this also indicates you're still not getting, there's homes when they hit the market, they are selling. They're not sitting. They're selling. And if they are sitting, there's a problem. There's a pricing issue. There's a something issue because homes are selling in a month on average, year to date.
Yeah. So why don't you take this snapshot there, Jessica?
So taking a look at this snapshot, this is kind of just an idea of what happened in July. So we saw 382 homes come on the market. Now, when we take a look at these numbers and we look at like inventory and we start to feel about, there just isn't anything to buy out there. Well, this gives us an idea of what we saw movement wise in the market. So we actually saw 382 come on the market in July. And then in 2020, we had 389. So we're really only 7 houses difference of what has entered the market versus last year. So even though we're down on closed sales, the amount of homes entering the market is nearly the same. So that's given us a little chance to see a little more on inventory. Now, 7% of those homes not only came on the market, but then also sold and closed in July. So they came on and off.
I want to just say something about the 7%. Do you think that's because people are jumping to get into them, but then they're asking for a longer close, obviously, because they're just like rushing as much as they can to get into a house, get it under contract, but then they, have to wait a little bit? Is that?
So I think so. And also I think people when you see that number of homes that comes on and sells in the same cash buyers that want to close in 2 weeks, that would drive the number of people coming on the market and selling in the same month. Here, we have 93% probably had to go through a mortgage and needed 30 days to close. And so when you see that percentage go up, you're seeing more cash buyers trying. And right now with appraisals, it's hard to rush a mortgage. It's hard to rush financing. So they're not getting those in under 30 days. And so I think that's why we're seeing that number.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And for a while we saw a lot of cash and those were quick sells, and I think this is an indicator we're not seeing that as heavy. Yeah. And so that takes us right to that next stat. Good insight, Casey. The next stat is in July, 304 homes went pending, which means they were active on the market and they went pending. It doesn't necessarily mean they started in July, but in July, they moved into pending status under contract. And we were in 2020, this is what's interesting, is there were 401. So we had last summer, we had a significantly larger number go under contract in the July. So we felt that crunch. Remember when that really last summer, that crunch of inventory just almost felt like it was crushing everybody. Well, that's because homes are going pending faster than they're coming on the market. 389 came on the market, 401 went off the market. Here we're at 382 came on, 304 came off. So we actually got to increase our inventory as a result because it didn't eat up, the pendings didn't eat up all the inventory that entered the market. Does everybody understand that? So that's,
I think this next slide is a big indicator of a little bit of what we're feeling right now. And so I'd love to get into that one.
Yeah. So let's jump onto that. So currently, right now, as of last night, we had 254 homes on the market. And again, this is Bingham, Jefferson, Bonneville counties. And this is single family homes. This is not manufactured home land, multi-unit dwellings. This is single family homes. So we're sitting at 254. Last month, we were at 297. So we had a 30% increase of inventory. So homes that are still available on the market to sell. So that's that's a nice pressure release to getting a few more homes, adding 60 more homes on the market. That feels like we had a rush. Did you guys feel like that? Like, oh my word, we can see 5 different homes.
I can wait a couple of hours before I have to go and look at that house and compete with 30 other people.
Yeah. Because when you break down 254 homes into 10 different price brackets, that's still, you're getting the less we have in those brackets, the more. So this was a nice pressure. Did you guys feel that? Did you guys feel like you had a few more homes to look at this past month?
I had some buyers come in from out of town, and that always scares me. They're like, hey, we're here for 2 days. Let's look at houses. I'm like, yeah, you're going to get to see 2 houses because that's all there is. That's a snapshot. We saw 7 houses and they liked 3 of them.
Wow.
And it was just so nice to have that option and say, hey, you could look in this section. There were some new builds, there were some existing. So that was a big wonderful thing for my buyers this weekend.
Yeah. Anybody else feel that same way?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I actually also had an out-of-state buyer come in about 2.5 weeks ago, and we ended up looking, we looked at everything that was on the market in their price range, but we ended up looking at about 5 or 6 houses. And we actually looked at the same house quite a few times within the week and a half that they were here. And finally, when they left after the week and a half, they ended up offering on the first one we looked at, and it was still on market. So It was a little bit higher priced, but it was only in the 400 to 500 range. So it wasn't like it was up above, but for it to still be available and be on market was kind of a shocker. I was a little like, you guys better hurry and offer, because it's getting to that point. So it was good though. Yeah, I definitely felt the rush.
Well, on that concept is that those buyers, is that emotion, the goal is to lower that fallout rate. And I feel like we've seen that higher fallout rate because of the emotional push. We got to hurry, get our offers in because everything's gone. So we've got to make these decisions, these huge decisions so quickly. So I think this pressure release will really help, number one, keep more deals together because people get a chance to breathe and say, let's sleep on it, make sure this is the right house for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just knowing that there's a little more inventory, that's, I think people start getting real nervous, like, holy cow, the market's going to fall out. It's going to fall out. That's not what it means. When we have a balanced market, it's 4 to 6 months of inventory. We're still below 1 month of inventory, which is better than 2 weeks of inventory, which we found ourselves at last month. But this month, this month, we're at just almost 1 month. So that gives us a little more time, and it doesn't mean the sky's falling for sure. So
it was a big day when we took weeks off of the absorption rate. Big day for us.
Yeah.
Ashley, did you have some?
Yeah, when buyers have homes just to compare to, the first house you might show them, because the way that we, figure out what to show them is we want to show them definitely the best fits first, but having something to compare that to so that they know the first one we showed them was actually the home that was right for them helps that fallout rate and buyer's remorse and helps avoid all those kind of things. So
yeah.
So true. Excellent. So that absorption rate, just to reiterate what that is, basically saying if no more homes entered the market right now, how long would it take for us to sell out our current inventory? So in 0.83, just under a month, we'd be out of inventory if we got no new homes. That just is an indicator of whether we're swinging to the seller. Is the seller in the driver's seat, a seller's market, or are we swinging to where the buyer's in the driver's seat, a buyer's market? And like Jeremy said, the goal is to kind of be in balance. That 4 to 6 month of inventory would be a balanced market where everyone kind of is on the same playing field. No one really has an advantage over the other one because of the market, but we are still in a severe seller's market, even though this feels like a big win this month.
Great.
So go ahead.
Yeah, hit the inventory sheet.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the breakdown. So here is, for a while, I felt like we were creeping up almost to 50-50 on $500,000 and above versus 500 and below. But we're getting a little heavier on the more affordable housing. 500 and below, we're actually sitting at 146 homes, which is awesome. Now, this is where it blows my mind. Do you guys, anybody remember who gets the star for the day? What was the lowest price home last month in Jefferson, Bonneville, and Bingham County? Anybody remember what the lowest price home was?
203.
It was sitting right at that 200 mark, manufactured home at 200. We have 14 homes right now, $200,000 or below on the market. And they're not all manufactured homes. 14. I'm like, where is that coming from? Some cute little houses that hit the market. So that is a big deal. I think we haven't seen a little bit of that inventory. And I know that is a market we are needing more in. So I thought that was a big deal on our inventory today.
Great.
Yeah. So moving right along. Let's take a look at the Bonneville Jefferson Bingham overview on kind of, when we talk about inventory, that's a snapshot because we're only saying how many homes are active right at this moment. Well, right at this moment, we have pendings. These are homes that have not closed, and they're under contract. So they're still technically on the market, even though they're under contract. We've got 515. So we still have a lot of houses selling a significant amount. The average price in those pendings is $391,204. So that is still, I mean, right there at that 400,000. That's the current homes under contract are at that. And on their average, they're 17 days on market. So those are homes actually under contract, getting ready to close. That moves us to just the Idaho Falls area. Now, how do we determine this is the Idaho Falls high school boundaries. So the 5 Idaho Falls high schools, their boundaries, we have 153 homes currently on the market, and we're sitting at 1.1 months of inventory. So that is
a little higher than that, the average of all 3 counties, huh?
Yep. So that Idaho Falls home is feeling those homes are feeling a little bit of relief, getting a little bit more pressure. Let's see how that breaks down. So as you're looking in Idaho Falls, you're seeing 88 homes under $500,000 in the Idaho Falls area, which is a great selection. We actually have quite a few homes under 200, quite a few. We have a few. I'm not going to say quite a few homes in that range, which is awesome. But what's really interesting about this is current inventory. So these guys are active. Look at the average days on market of the homes that are currently active. And so that's really interesting to me. There are still homes that are driving that average days on market at 22, 28, 24. Those days, you would think we would see those that should only be, under 10. So we're starting to see a little bit of softening. What do you guys think about that?
Look at the $1.5 to $1.6 million, only 17 days on market.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is kind of crazy. Looking at those, but it's nice to see a little bit of time. But of course, we're still that 400 to 500 is still a hot market. 15 days on market. That's kind of it's a little bit above the average home in the area. So I expect that to be a hot market. And they're sitting at 15 days on market. So that's super interesting. This is the Idaho Falls area. Let's take a look at the overview. So talking about what was available, but let's take a look at the pendings. So how many homes were actively available? Do you guys remember in Idaho Falls? Anybody remember? I already lost you one slide.
254.
254.
I'm cheating.
You're cheating. That's right. Current pendings, 335. So that put those together, we're hitting in the almost 600 homes that are still on the market here. 388. What's interesting to me on this is the average price in Idaho Falls is lower than the average price in Bonneville, Bingham, and Jefferson. So that is interesting to me. Average days on market, 15. So little snapshot, kind of an interesting time. I think we're seeing a little turn. I think we should expect to see a little more turn, but it's not significant. It's not like, I better wait. These numbers the prices aren't going down and the days on market aren't going down. Yep. We're just seeing maybe we're getting a little more selection. So I think it's great.
Still strong.
Thanks,
Jessica. All right, let's turn to Hunter Taylor and Jill Andrus, PRMI. Maybe you can stop sharing the screen and we can get their faces on the screen.
Now you're asking a lot here.
Who's in control here? There we go.
Can you see me?
Yep.
Perfect. A couple of things today. I think the first one, the movie event, the client appreciation event, was awesome. And it was great to be a part of that and have some of our clients go to that. And there's been a lot of people who've contacted me directly wanting to refinance their home because they saw that advertised at the movie. So we were able to help a lot of people kind of refinance, get some cash out, and now's a great time. As you know, interest rates are still super low. So if you thought about getting some money out of your home, just know if you purchased a year ago, it's there. That was really apparent today with that increase in prices. It's just crazy. So if you purchased a year and a half ago, there's definitely money there. And if you thought about doing some renovations or whatever in your house, we would love to talk to you about getting some money out. So appreciate that. Thanks for having us. That was super fun.
So Hunter, I was thinking about that the other day is when people think about sometimes when you sell your house, you're able to take some of that equity and pay off some debt and do those kind of things when you move. Right
Sure.
now, you could do that with a refi and get those benefits and not have to change houses.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't want to, up and move and you like your home, but like you were saying, want to pay off a car, or maybe there's some student loans that you just have hanging over your head, you can take that cash out and consolidate debt and make your other monthly payments go down in different ways. So it's a great option for sure.
Awesome. Who do you have with you there, Hunter?
So we have a new team member. I think some of you know, but her name is Jill Andrus, and she is a rock star, and we are super excited to have her on. And I'll let her kind of go into her background, but she's going to be a great addition to our team and helping us kind of hit our goals and be where we need to be. So I will let her kind of introduce herself and go from there.
Hey guys, my name is Jill Andrus, and gosh, I've been in the real estate industry since 1997, which makes me a little old. I started in Idaho Falls and had a mortgage company here that I started in 1999 and had it through 2008, and also got my real estate license in 2002. And then moved to Washington State, and I had a small real estate team there that I ran, and we were always in the top 10. Oops, here we go. There we go. We ranked in the top 10 there amongst transactions closed. And so I feel like I have seen both sides of the transaction, which helps me help you as realtors and helps the consumers see the whole picture, because I've been on both sides. So I think that helps me in the industry here and as a mortgage lender. So I'm excited to be back in Idaho Falls and serve the community, serve the realtors here, and also excited to be working with this team. I greatly respect them. They're super dedicated. And not only are they smart and intelligent, but they care about people, and they care about making sure people are happy and giving the best service that they can. So I'm really excited to be part of that team and to be back in Idaho Falls, be by my two older kids who still live here and my grandbabies. And most importantly, maybe I get to go back to my favorite restaurant, the Snake Bite, which is really important. So no, I'm excited to help you guys and to meet more people and be back in Idaho Falls and be part of PRMI.
Awesome. Welcome. Anything else, Hunter?
I think that's it. But yeah, appreciate you guys.
I do want to plug something. If you guys haven't reached out and contacted Hunter or Jill, if you have mortgage insurance and you've bought in the last 1 to 3 years, you probably can get rid of that. And contacting them is a great time to do that. If you are especially an FHA loan, that mortgage insurance never goes away. So I want to plug that.
For sure.
Awesome.
For sure. Thanks, Jess. Appreciate it.
Yep. That's it for the stats. The sky is not falling. The market is strong. It's still good for sellers. But with rates as low as they are, it's still good for buyers. Let's talk about nosy neighbors, and then we'll wrap it up.
Nosy neighbors. We know we're super excited about the community that we were able to go and visit. We've had some fun visits this month in July. We went to the Children's Business Fair with Acton Academy. Really cool. If you guys haven't heard of what Acton Academy is, it's really about a hands-on education system. And they did this really neat business fair, and they had 22 entrepreneurs, kids under 16, that made something and sold it, had to come up with their business plan. It was super neat to see that. Also, brand new Pony Express car wash in Ammon, Modern Mind Body Massage, two sisters that are offering great clinical massage. Brick House Recovery Outpatient Services was a really neat to understand the services they offer people who struggle with addiction here in Idaho Falls. Really cool people. And Sagebrush Studio and Lifestyle Space, a really neat new studio space downtown that Chloe Freeman allows other artists to rent out, or if you need for meeting space. So really, really cool, super fun, nosy neighbors. Go and check them out online. I don't know, see what the one is at the bottom. I forgot what that one is. but that's right. And we've got coming up this month, we did talk to Mahana Fresh. They had their 1-year anniversary. And then we are visiting the new barber college downtown. So take a watch for that. Ghost the Barber has started a barber school. So very cool stuff coming up, Nosy Neighbors this month.
Nice. Last thing we want to do is just review our mission, vision, and values. Let's just read our mission as we are impacting lives through real estate, creating opportunities for families, our clients, and our communities. So we just want to thank everybody in the community because we want to give good service, and our mission really is to make an impact through what we do. And so we appreciate your support, and that's it for us.
That's the stacks, Jack.
If you want to be in the know on the value of your home, then click on the link or give us a call.
You may feel like prices are high, but there has never been a better time to sell your home and buy a home. Call us and we'll explain why.
Our team has outpaced the market in dollars per home sold and time on the market. If you want to see how your home would sell and how much it would sell for, give us a call.
If you love the idea of having someone to contact at any time, that's the benefit of a team. Give us a call, let us talk about your process and how you can have a better experience, a more satisfying experience in real estate with Murdock Manwaring Company.